Hello, listeners, and welcome to our new podcast. First of all, thanks to all the previous listeners, and for the ones that are new here, this is a project created by Curba de Cultură, and it's called Better Together, and it's co-financed by the Human Rights Fund by the Embassy of Netherlands here in Romania, and we aim to raise awareness about domestic violence and gender stereotypes, among other things, for youngsters. And we are tackling different topics in these podcasts. And today the topic is going to be chemical submission. And we have here an international volunteer to talk about it.
Hello Carla, and hello listeners. Thank you for having me. I'm Jonah. I'm a international volunteer. I've been here in the Teixan commune for almost 2 months. And I'm from Barcelona, Spain. And I'm excited to talk about this very relevant and important subject with you guys.
Thank you. So first of all, what do you think that it's chemical submission? What do you know about that?
I thought chemical submission was basically drink spiking that happened in clubs. But now I recently found out that there's other ways also. There's something with it can be done in different ways, basically right now. So drink spiking, or with little needles also in nightclubs now. And that happens. It can happen to anyone going out clubbing, and basically bad people with bad intentions do this.
So I have here a short definition of chemical submission. And it says that is the use of chemical substances to manipulate the will of a person, producing incapacity or unconsciousness that facilitates criminal action. And it has gained in prominence in recent years due to its frequent use in cases of alleged crimes against sexual freedom. So mostly it's usually the victims are women. Yeah. But there's also the cases of men who just had this. And we are talking about that right now because lately it's been a lot of cases raising in Spain about this kind of chemical submission. Since Jonah said before, it was spiking drugs usually in the drinks of people, but now they started to they are stabbing you with a needle and they are introducing in your system the drugs directly. And obviously you are dancing and stuff, and people say that they are just feeling a stab, like a bee, or when you get a vaccine. And after that, few minutes later, the people are starting to feel dizzy, to feel super tired and stuff, and probably usually they are falling asleep. And that's when the predator or the perpetrator is just taking advantage of this kind of situation.
Yeah.
And how did you heard about this trend, or did you hear about that before?
I heard about that before, but recently it's been gaining, in the news and the media. Apparently it's going up and up and up, which is very sad because it coincides with the end of the pandemic, and young people want to have fun. We deserve to have fun, and now this is happening. So that's what I heard.
Yeah. And did you hear that it happened in other countries or something like that?
I heard that in the UK they this new trend started happening there, and now it's expanding throughout Europe.
Yeah. Last winter in UK, during 6 months, they just found out that there was 1,300 cases that people that went to the police to put a complaint and stuff. And France also, since the beginning of this year, they had 1,004 cases. And also the Netherlands say that that was happening there. And Belgium that also had some cases. And the difference, what is happening between that countries and Spain, for example, that it's happening now, is that in UK and Belgium, people went to the street and made boycott to the clubs and to the bars and stuff where that was happening. In Spain, not really. I think that in Spain they are still in shock and in the face of terror. People are really afraid of going out and partying and stuff, mostly because this started happening not long ago, and it's also in festivals and stuff. You don't expect that this is going to happen to you once you are just going out partying with your friends. And what do you think about that?
I think it's very sad, basically, because we want to have fun, everyone deserves to have fun, and now we have to think about this. And yeah, I guess things have to happen. Things have to change. This new problem, we need new solutions. I'm not really sure what solutions. I read somewhere that like increasing controls at the entrances is a good way of starting, like really intense controls. Yeah, it's shocking to me. It's very shocking that this is happening.
Yeah. For me, it's shocking the fact that maybe you are wearing, I don't know, maybe before when my parents were young, they couldn't go to the clubs if they were wearing like white socks, you know, like it was the thing that no, you cannot enter. Now I know that this is still happening, even though like it's more open and stuff, but it depends where you are going. If you are wearing determinate clothes, you know that you are not going to be able to enter in a club, you know, but they are checking the clothes, but they are not checking if someone has a sharing, you know, like to introduce drugs to you. It's like, wow, like if this happened inside the club, which kind of protection are you offering to the people inside? Like if the people in charge of the door checking that this is not going to happen are not really checking, you know.
That's a very interesting point. Yeah. Like we do search for certain things that don't really matter that much, and the important stuff not that much.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows that obviously like clubs and stuff, like people always enter drugs, and it's a fact. But come on, it's a sharing, you know, like it's big. It's like something like more like physical than just the back of something.
Sure.
So yeah, it's kind of like exploding my mind that this is allowed. Not allowed, obviously, because it's not allowed, but that they are not controlling these kind of things. And what do you think about the people who say things like, if you don't want this to happen to you, stay home?
Yeah, that to me doesn't really speak to young people at all, I don't think, because it's in our nature to have fun, and we deserve to have fun. And that's like, it's basically saying don't live your life. To me, that sounds like that. I don't know, what does it sound for you? For me, it sounds horrible, mostly because like these kind of comments were made by men towards women, because it's mostly like women who are the victims, so they are obviously afraid. It's like we don't have enough with being afraid of going back home alone. We don't have enough about being harassed inside the clubs by people even though when we say no or something like that. Now we have also to take care about our arms or legs or whatever, because like people can just put drugs on ourselves, not only on our drinks, also like just stabbing us, you know? Yeah, in your body.
On our body. So like for me it's horrible, and like this fact that our men saying like, if you don't want this to happen to you, just don't go. Well, maybe it's you who might not go to this kind of stuff if you think that this is totally normal and like if it happens, it happens. No, like it happens because there's a reason behind, you know.
Exactly.
It happens because someone wants to do something to you. Like I don't think that people are just wasting their money and their time just drugging people for nothing, you know. Like there's a purpose behind that. So
exactly,
it's horrible. And do you think, or do you know about some methods to prevent these kind of things?
I've always heard, with the drink spiking, to always be aware of your drink. Like when you go and order it, you're there, you're seeing the process. Maybe go with someone else also to order the drink in case in a moment you're not aware of your drink because someone's talking to you, or the other person is another set of eyes. And never to accept a drink from someone else. These are the two big ones that I've had in my mind. Yeah, what about, do you have a couple more?
Yeah, I also, like, when I started clubbing and stuff, my mom, like, always, like, if you order something, just don't share, don't leave your glass somewhere else. If you leave it, just don't go back for it and stuff. But I read some things about young people just starting to invent some new things. And not to avoid this to happen, because, like, I think it's something really huge that we cannot change from one day to another, because we have to go to the root of that. But since people are just knowing that this is happening, they are just trying to find ways to control, you know. And I know that one group of youngsters, I think that they were Americans, they invented like a nail polish.
Yeah.
And if you put it, you're wearing it, and you just stir your drink with the finger. If the nail polish change of color, means that something is in your drink, there's some drugs in your drink. Yeah. And there's also another thing that it's like, usually it's like, I don't know if it's latex or one kind of plastic or silicone or something like that, it's elastic, and you can put it to cover your glass, and has like just a small hole just for you to pass the straw. And with that you avoid like someone to put it to put something on your drink, you know. And yeah, I think they are kind of pretty useful.
Yeah, they're really cool.
But probably like no one is like studying more things about that, so that means that it's not going to the market. That means that if it goes to the market, it's going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
I think like these things of covering the glass, you can find it in Amazon probably and stuff,
Yeah.
because it's not that much. I think it's silicone or something like that. So
Do you think it would make sense for clubs and like these events to think of that, like to provide that maybe instead of the youngsters having to take it from home? Would you think that would be like a good way forward for these venues to like for these products to be very easily available? Like you go in and look, there's this.
like that could be awesome, but I would feel even safer if they offer that obviously for free and stuff, or maybe like, okay, you pay, this thing that you pay €1, you take it and when you go out you bring it back and they give you back your euro, you know. That would be like super nice, but I would also feel more safe if they put more security, you know, like you shouldn't have to use this if there would be more security that makes me feel safe knowing that there's not going to be drugs just going to my glass.
Yeah,
you know?
very true.
So a combination of both of them would be like really amazing. But yeah, again, utopia. And how would you feel like if like one of your friends tell you that this happened to him or her?
Very angry. Yeah, it'll be very angry. Yeah, it would be a horrible feeling because they will, you know, it would be horrible for them, and so you kind of think, you know, what must they've felt when that was, you know, they were losing control and unexpectedly. So yeah, very angry, I guess, and hopefully that never happens. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I would feel like so pissed also, and and so sad. It's like we are going out to have fun, and we have to deal with this, you know, like. Obviously, like it's been a lot of cases of people just with what you say, like with drug in their drinks and stuff. But the fact that someone is just directly stabbing you, it's horrible. Like I read and I hear a lot of people that happened that to them, like during the summer. Thankfully, none of my friends. But yeah, it's horrible. I mean, you have like the mark of like it seems that you got a vaccine, you know. But no, it's drugs, and they felt like super dizzy and super tired, like 5 minutes after, you know. Like mostly all of them, like since it happened when like the first case is raised and stuff, like people were like being speaker about that, you know. So like I think the news just went out like super fast. So more or less we had time to prepare ourselves and to know what we had to do, because like if that happens, someone comes to you telling you like, look, I think that happened to me, the first thing that you have to do is just look for the security people or for the people working in that bar club and tell them, and they have to provide you a safe space. Usually it's like in the back of the club or whatever, or maybe outside in a space like where you can sit and stuff, and you are going to feel dizzy, like, and you are going to maybe pass out or something like that. So it would be nice if they can call the police and they can call an ambulance just in case, because you never know. And once you are just feeling better and stuff, maybe go to the hospital to see like if they can check what happened to you and stuff. But the bad thing is that even though they are making different tests, like blood test, urine and stuff, they are not really finding like traces of what you had.
Okay.
So it cannot be like full, like, okay, you had this and stuff. Like it's different kind of drugs, and people are using different ones, so you never know.
Okay, so that's why, because it's like new stuff that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a new drug or whatever, but it's like I don't know. Maybe it's a new method of just doing it, and it's not the same as like, because there's some kind of drugs that you have to inject directly in your veins and stuff. But they are not looking for the vein, you know, like they are just going and just putting it on the jaw.
Okay.
So I don't really know how this works, because like I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. But yeah, it's kind of difficult for people to find the traces of the drug that they got injected.
Wow.
So yeah, I kind of use like, usually it was like one drug that it was called burundanga. Like for me it's like the name is kind of funny, but it's like the same. It's just making you like not realizing what is happening to you. You just like people who have been drunk with this kind of drug without them giving their consent. They had like blanks, you know, like during the night it was like, okay, I remember being here, but I don't remember anything from that point to just waking up at home. Like I don't know what happened. And in case that's your case, be aware that a lot of things could have happened to you, and the smartest thing is just don't shower. Take the things that you were wearing the day before during the night, go to the police and explain what happened to you. They are going to probably make you a test or send you to the hospital to make you a raping test, and you will have to give the clothes that you were wearing, and they are going the raping test is different things, but they are going to take samples of you. So it's like a person in charge of that, like maybe a nurse, maybe a doctor, and yeah, they are going to take samples and just sending to the lab to see if something happened. And after that, if something happened to you, they are going to give you like some pills or some things in case that you've been raped. For example, the pill the next day or something like that, in case that, because you can be pregnant. So
yeah.
At least this is how it works in Spain, or that I know how it works in Spain. I don't know in other countries. I don't know here in Romania. Thankfully, I didn't have to live this. But I think it's the same procedure, like it should be like in the hospitals and stuff. So yeah, just take that in account and in consideration, and be aware that it can happen to you. Not maybe with the sharings and stuff here in Romania, maybe not yet, but just someone pouring something to your drink. So
yeah.
Please be really careful when you go out with your drinks and stuff.
For sure. And related to that, I read in one of the articles that not everyone reports that this happened. Actually, a huge percentage of people don't report. So would you say that it's very important to report this and do the thing? Authorities, medical help, everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it's the way of just keeping track that this is still happening, or that this is starting to happen, or something like that. Sometimes people doesn't report because they are afraid, or they are ashamed of what they could have done while they were like not conscious and stuff. I totally understand that, because like you have a total blank, you don't know what happened to you or what you could have done and stuff. But it's hard, but it's also helping other people that can happen to them like in the future and stuff, so they know what to do or how to act once it happens to them. Hopefully not, but yeah, it's really important to go on to the police and just tell them and stuff. Yeah, maybe like mostly to make echo, you know, like maybe the police cannot do anything because like, okay, you got drugged, but we cannot track who did it. But yeah, it's to make echo, like to be a speaker, as I said before. Like social media, for example, it helped a lot for that in Spain. And in France also, like the cases that were like raising a lot, it's super fast. It was also a speaker to say that. Like I was here in Romania, and obviously I'm following people from Spain and stuff because I'm from there. And it was like really nice, well, not nice, but that the news were like super fast, you know, like one random girl that maybe it was like from the other part of the country just post that, and she was not like an influencer or whatever, she was like a normal girl. And like everybody was just sharing that, like, look what can happen to you, you know. So for that side, it's like really nice, the sorority that we had, like from men and women and stuff, like. But on the other hand, it's like really sad that this shit is happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what would you say like to youngsters? Would you recommend them also like to stay at home if that doesn't want to happen to them?
No way. No way. You deserve to have fun. This is none of our fault. I consider myself a youngster. I'm going to put myself in the group too. And yeah, I guess I would also say, honestly, let's take care of ourselves. This is a real issue. It's happening. So let's, try and do the precautions, these measures. Let's be serious about that. Also, let's demand the powers in charge of security, for example, more security and more this shouldn't be happening in the first place. So I guess the first one will be like demand the authorities to actually do their job. And second, go have fun. And third, take measures to avoid this happening to you or your loved ones. Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean, if we just go more deep about thinking about that, and yes, like the politicians had to take measures, but it's also related with the fact that it's super easy for youngsters, like, or maybe not youngsters, or adults or whatever, like the people who is doing that, to get these drugs. You know, like drugs are supposed to be illegal and they are supposed to be like super hard to find, but seems that it's not like that. And I don't know, like people are just stabbing people with drugs and stuff, even though like they don't know if, I don't know, it's like just for me, it's just putting them like maybe in like in Spanish we say saco roto, like a broken back, because you are doing this because you want to do something to that person, but you don't know for sure that person is not going to tell their friends like, hey, look, that happened to me, help me or whatever, you know, like, I don't know, you're just wasting like a lot of money into drugs that you are using in a random people that you don't really know if you are going to be able to do like the thing that you want to do, that probably like for sure it's illegal also and stuff, you know. So it's like, besides a lot of money, it's like a lot of resources, and just I still cannot comprehend like how people are still doing that, and how people reach to the conclusion that I can do this to one person without asking for their consent, to do also later the things that I want without keeping asking about consent, you know. It's just finding yourself in a super powerful position that you don't deserve, and that it's not fair, you know, for anyone. Like, I don't know. I know that I just put a lot of things now together, and maybe that doesn't really have sense, but in my head it has.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's a crazy thing. Trying to understand the person that does this kind of thing. It's like, it's important and it's crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I guess, these kind of people need help. So
yeah, it's like, which kind of reason do you have to do this, you know? Like, I don't know, like maybe your like level of hate towards women it's so high, but I don't know, you know, like you can go to therapy and just try to solve your stuff. Like, not using your power against someone that it's totally innocent. That's all. Like, if you are like shy and you don't know if that person is going to say, yeah, of course, let's dance or let's have a drink or whatever, just try. If you never try, you never know. But don't drag them, you know. You don't do things without the consent of the other person. It's the most important thing. Like, no, it's a human being, you're a human being, just know your boundaries, know that the other people has boundaries also, and take a no. If it's a no, and that's all. Like, it's not against you as a person. It's like maybe that person doesn't want in general, or maybe that person doesn't want with you, but it's okay. Like, you know, like not everybody has the same taste, and that's all, and that's totally okay.
Very well said.
Okay, so I think we are done. Thank you, listeners, for being here. One podcast more. Thank you, Jonah, for being here.
Thank you, guys.
And see you in the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.